Most remote patient management programs are losing money. Clinicians drown in low-value alerts. Patients can't get their Bluetooth cuff to pair. And the return on investment? It never showed up. I'm Chris, 20 years in healthcare, the last decade in cloud and AI. I'm the healthcare architect. This is the architecture, the governance, and the hard numbers from health systems that made AI-driven remote patient monitoring actually work. Zuckerberg's San Francisco General is where the math gets real. Predictive AI on continuous data streams. Result: 30-day readmission dropped from 27.9% to 23.9%. That protected $7.2 million in performance funding. The return was $7 for every dollar spent. Across chronic disease cohorts, congestive heart failure, COPD, diabetes, the pattern holds at 15 to 30% readmission reduction. These are not vendor projections. This is what shows up when early detection replaces emergency department visits. The second return is clinician time. Traditional monitoring drowns teams in alerts. AI compresses that noise by contextualizing vitals. A 3-pound weight gain in 24 hours. Heart rate up 12 beats. Activity dropped 40%. That is a decompensation signature. It triggers intervention today, not an admission tomorrow. This is decision support, not data monitoring. The operational model that delivers this is a tiered escalation system. One study tracked 26,000 cardiac device patients. They generated 205,804 transmissions. Only 6.6% needed clinical action, meaning 93.4% of the data is noise that should never reach a human. 3 tiers. AI filters autonomously. Nurses review what the AI flags. Only urgent cases reach a physician. This is the staffing architecture that separates programs that scale from programs that burn out clinicians in 6 months. For rural hospitals with constrained capital, the shift is from hardware to software. The old model, proprietary hubs and dedicated cellular devices. The new model, the patient's own smartphone, becomes the data gateway. The investment moves from device deployment to software intelligence. The business case holds up, which raises the harder question. Why do so many programs fail to capture this value? The technology is rarely the problem. The organization is. This is where projects stall. Organizations buy the platform and underestimate what it takes to change how the organization works around it. That gap costs you 12 to 18 months if you don't plan for it. First, data infrastructure. Your EHR was built for episodic documentation, not real-time streams from wearables. The fix is a parallel data highway alongside the EHR, not through it. 4 hops from wearable to flowsheet, each a failure point. The one that reliably breaks, timestamp drift. Device records local time. Platform converts to UTC. EHR displays clinic time. An incorrect conversion puts morning blood pressure at 4 a.m. on the flow sheet. When timestamps break, clinicians stop trusting the data. When trust dies, the program dies. Second, organizational friction. The market is full of point solutions, but health systems can't deploy dozens of separate tools. The strategic move is consolidation. One core platform pulling from multiple data sources with a single workflow. Here is why that platform decision matters. Abbott holds over 35% of the device market. The top 5 control roughly 70%. The device layer is already concentrated. Strategic leverage sits at the platform level. Pick a platform that locks you into one device ecosystem and you have ceded negotiating power to your vendor. Pick one that aggregates across manufacturers and you keep options open as sensors improve and prices drop. The third variable is patient adoption, and this is where most programs quietly die. In a rural telemonitoring study, 71% of patients had only elementary or junior high education. They refused monitoring because they feared breaking expensive equipment, had no tech-savvy family member nearby, or their work schedules made check-ins impossible. These are not edge cases. They are the majority of your target population. Without active support, dropout hits 30 to 40% within 6 months. With a dedicated support wrapper, real humans making phone calls in the first 72 hours, non-adherence drops from 33.7% to 8.1%. Single digits. Here is why that wrapper matters in hard numbers. Highly engaged heart failure patients have a 7.7% readmission rate. Low to moderately engaged patients hit 21.6%. Nearly a 3x gap. Both groups had the same devices. The difference is human touchpoints in the first 72 hours. The phone call, the troubleshooting, the check-in that turns monitoring into a relationship. When a patient disengages, the device still transmits. The data just stops meaning anything. You can build the cleanest technical architecture and still expose the organization to regulatory action, liability, and patient harm if governance is not built alongside it. This is not hypothetical risk. It is the part that gets organizations in trouble after they have already deployed. First, data ownership. When a patient's Apple Watch heart rate flows into your clinical system, who owns it? The patient, Apple, the hospital? Consent boundaries for consumer-grade data in a clinical context are not well defined. Your governance model needs patient agreements that go well beyond standard HIPAA boilerplate. Second, regulatory compliance. An FDA-cleared device used episodically is one thing. A continuous AI-interpreted stream from a consumer wearable is something else. We are genuinely in a gray zone. Legal and compliance must be at the table from day one. Third, and this is the one that keeps me thinking, AI liability. An algorithm recommends an intervention. A clinician acts on it. The outcome is bad. Who is responsible? The developer, the hospital, the clinician? Current medical liability frameworks do not have clean answers. Your governance needs documented AI-assisted decision review, clinician override protocols, and clear accountability. There is also a clinical governance layer nobody talks about until it is too late. AI models drift. The CHF algorithm that nailed a pilot degrades when patient populations shift, device firmware updates, or seasonal patterns change. If you cannot measure whether the AI is still working, you are flying blind with patient care. ZSFG proved what proper governance looks like. Their model eliminated the racial disparity gap in readmissions, backed by quarterly revalidation and bias audits. Governance is not a defensive posture. It is the difference between an AI program that saves lives and one that quietly starts costing them. The expanded digital footprint adds security exposure. Bluetooth, smartphone apps, cloud transmission, each is an entry point. Security architecture must be designed for the edge, not just the data center. This is a strategic project, and it needs a disciplined roadmap. 12 months, 3 phases. Phase 1, Foundation, months 1 through 4, Governance Council, Platform Selection, Data Pipeline. 1 validation gate. Are you targeting high-risk patients with medical-grade sensors, not wellness trackers? If not, stop and fix it before spending a dime on piloting. Phase 2, Controlled Pilot, months 5 through 9. 1 cohort, CHF is a natural start. Keep it tight. The goal is validation, not savings. Validation gate. Does your team respond with rapid medication titration, not passive monitoring? Phase 3. Scale preparation, months 10 through 12. Add diabetes and COPD. Finalize training. Complete EHR integration. The validation gate. Are you teaching patients self-management and coordinating with primary care? At the end of year 1, you are not finished. You are operational now and positioned to capture real value in year 2. Here is my take. ZSFG returned $7 for every dollar and held on to $7.2 million in performance funding. UPMC cut readmissions by 76% with 90% patient satisfaction. University of Michigan Health saw a 59% reduction in hospitalizations, and the effect persisted after monitoring ended. Patients learned to manage their own health. That is the metric that matters. So here is what to do. Reimbursement codes are expanding in 2026. Assemble your governance council now. Evaluate platforms on architecture, not feature lists. Your competitors in underserved markets are still running paper checklists. That is your window and it will close. This is not an IT upgrade, it is the operating model for the next decade of care delivery. Start now. I am the healthcare architect. See you in the next one.